Welcome to Raymies Garage. We're on a wee run this morning. I've got a slight noise coming from my front passenger side wheel. It's a kind of a grinding noise. It's been annoying me for a wee while. So I'm going to stick this camera on the outside of the car so that it possibly will pick up some noise, so we can maybe determine what that is. I do have a new wheel bearing for the car. It's probably a bigger job than I think it is actually to take the whole thing out, because it's not a hub. We don't have hubs in these cars. It's just actual wheel bearing, and we've got to press that bearing out and put it back in again. Anyway, I'll get stopped up here somewhere shortly, and I'll stick this camera on the outside to see if I can pick up any noise. So, stopped here. There's some wee horses over there. There's one lying down. So anyway, I'm going to stick the camera on here to try and face it down. So let's do that. Right, so I'm hoping this doesn't fall off. Make sure everything's tight. It will probably bounce about a wee bit right enough, but it's more to pick up the sound than anything else. So here we go. So as you can hear, that didn't work very well. Obviously the wind noise is just overpowering the microphone on the camera. So I've tried to just listen to the dash cam, and I'm going to put the sound up when I hear the noise so we can try and hear that. Quite good. It was stopping the lights. I can definitely hear it. It's probably hard to pick up, but it's like a scraping noise, as if there's a bit of the back plate touching, but it's not that. I've had it all off, I've had all the brakes off. You think it sounds like a brake pad just holding on, but it's not. I've had all that off. I've had the pistons out, pistons in, and it's not doing it any worse when I'm braking, so that leads me to think that it's not the brakes. Definitely there. I can hear it much more when you're going at low speeds, slowing down, turning corners. Obviously high speed with the road noise, it's very difficult to hear it. So we're approaching this roundabout here. I'm going to slow down and brake and turn, so hopefully we'll get a good sense of the noise then. Here it comes. It's me applying the brakes. Definitely heard that. Brakes on now. So we're back at HQ, and after trying to put that camera on here to try and pick up the noise was a bit futile because of the wind noise you've probably heard there. So I think we picked it up reasonably okay on the dash cam, to hear that kind of scraping and rubbing noise. It does sound like a pad or the disc rubbing or maybe the back plate, but I genuinely don't think it is that, because I have had the wheel off and never found anything. So what I think I'll do is I shall take the wheel off and take the pads out, have a good look at that. I'll have a good look at the caliper just to make sure none of the 6 pistons are sticking. I'm going to change the pads. I'm sure I've got an old set of Brembo pads there, well not old but pads that I've taken out that were squeaking. I could shove them back in again, use the car to see if there's any change in that noise, and failing that we'll probably try and change the wheel bearing, which is my last resort, although we've got plenty of time and plenty of space to do that. So let's get the tools out, get the wheel off, we'll get the caliper off, and we'll take the pads out and have a look around. Right, so wheel off. As you probably noticed, I've had this off before, some nice copper grease in there. The pads look okay, and whilst we're in here we can have a wee look at this. This is where you tend to find cracking, but this is a 2013. I don't think these ones are on the recall for this knuckle cracking here, and I don't think we've got a crack that I can see anyway. I'm sure everybody's watched their friends Christian and Vera on LR Time will show you that, whereas they've found that theirs is cracked, but this one looks okay. You can kind of tell about the level of that bolt there, so do watch that if you want to go and watch LR Time. They talk about this arm here. Anyway, we're focusing on our rubbing noise, and the plan is let's take these pads out and we'll change them, and we'll have a look at the pistons inside just to make sure they're moving all okay. So I should be able to take the pins out, the centre pin, the bottom pin, and slacken it and take the pads out without taking the whole caliper off, because it's pretty big, that caliper, and we'll have a look at the pistons from there. Right, so we'll try and get this nut off, which is a 13mm. It should be fairly slack. Yeah, I think so. Give that a wee tap. Yeah, that's the beauty of putting copper grease on it. Just a wee nut and a wee punch. Should be able to punch that out. There we go. And I'll punch these out. These go out this way. Hopefully these will come out easy. Yes, they did. There is lots of people do this and they can't get these out, and I'll tell you the reason why. I'll just push that in a bit. So these pins have got a small kind of a olive in the top of it that actually compress, and a lot of these are all rusted and stuck, and that's why they won't come out, and you've got to cut them off. And if you look at some previous videos I had done, you'll notice I'd cut them off my old L322 because they were bending and all sorts. So let me get a screwdriver and we'll just try and push these out a wee bit, and we'll take these pads out. So I'm just try to wedge that there like that. You bring a small screwdriver. Yeah. Still a bit tight. That's not too bad. They should literally slide out of there, like so. I just need to be careful of this brake pad wear sensor. There we are. And there the pad. I mean, there's pretty good meat on that pad. I can't remember the last time I changed them. They look pretty evenly worn. So they're not too bad. We'll take them out now. And we'll try and get this fell out. And that one's much the same. And to be fair, I've had these pads off not that long ago, so that's why they probably come out easy. But if you're changing your brake pads on a big Brembo caliper like this, you can see it's not that difficult. So I'm going to try and have a look in to see. So I'm just trying to wedge them in. I can see that one's moving, that one's moving, that's moving. That's moving. I'll get a wee torch for that one, I think. So, that's that. They certainly all look as if they're moving. So they are. So I'll go and grab the other pads, I'll get them slid in, we'll put it back together and we'll take it for another road test. So these are old Brembos. I don't think they make them the way they used to make them, because I took these off because they were just constantly screaming. That's the other one there, just to let you see that it is an actual Brembo. There's a lot of meat left in that pad. So we'll get them in, hopefully. There we go, that's one. And the second one, still got copper grease on that, look at that. So they don't make these pads the way they used to make the pads for Brembo. That's for sure. Let me grab a rag. Used to be great quality, but I think they're made somewhere else now. So we'll get these wee pins back in. What did I do with my plate? Just get my orientation with this first. I always forget what way it was on. You'll no doubt see it in the video that I've got it wrong. That goes in there. Let's try this way. God, it'll knock you over. Hold on, hold on. And that's how simple they go in. Yeah, I think it goes that way. And we'll get the top one back in. And it goes underneath that. There's a wee helping hand up.
you've got to make sure you've got that wee collet in there tight. And I bet you forgot to put the bolt in, which I did. Idiot! That's supposed to go in there like that. I doubt we'll get it in. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. Right, third time lucky. And we've got a wee retaining screw here. And I've got a massive breaker bar on this. I don't know why, but I just couldn't be bothered going and getting another socket set. There you go. Right, that's that. Wheel straightened up. I don't know if any of you have seen this thing, which I use to put my wheels on. It's basically an alignment tool, and let me put the camera down and we'll see if this can work.
Boy, my work's maybe interested in a car.
Much?
Well, he's looking for that first car.
Alright.
So he just mentioned, I was like, man, so I want to go in, so he seemed like he was interested. So whenever I said to Paul when he's like, I'll bring over maybe tomorrow night, send him some pictures if he wants to go and have a look and have a look.
Aye.
Just thought it's a good opportunity to get it done.
I know, no, it's a good opportunity. So that's how I got my wheel on. I use this handy device. I just find it a wee bit easier when you're on your own, try to wrestle with this 22-inch wheel. So that's about us. We'll get it torqued to spec. There's the old pads there. Well, the pads that were in it. They're there. We'll get the jack down and put the test drive going. Okay, so let's get that down, get that torqued up, and we'll get out on the road and have a wee listen to see if it's made any difference.